What does it mean to be a YouTuber? I've wanted to be a YouTuber my entire life, all the way back when I was super young and I discovered it on my parents' iPad. I'd create really bad quality videos on whatever toys I could get my hands on around the house, mainly Lego and cars. But being a YouTuber can mean a whole lot of different things to a whole lot of different people. The platform has evolved so much over the last 20 years that it's essentially an entirely new place now. But what does being a YouTuber mean to me? To put it simply, it means creating high quality videos, shorts, and live streams discussing video games, cars, and my life. I've got two main channels right now, a gaming channel where I talk all things video games and a personal channel for my IRL adventures. As I said before, I've been interested in being a YouTuber for a long time. I've always been more into the creative side of the world rather than math and science. I'm also just terrible at those subjects. I have a good amount of self-taught skills that YouTube allows me to show off in one way or another. Music, drawing, graphic design, editing, photography, videography, and script writing are just a few examples of things I've honed in on over the years. And all of these art forms can be expressed in just one video. Videos are so much more than simply setting up a camera in front of your face and yapping. They're an art form, and as you get better, the numbers will reflect that, and more people will get to see your videos and you can watch your community grow. Now, while I might have been doing this for a long time, I'm not perfect and I never will be. I've got a lot to learn, including what truly makes a good video. I have made a handful of videos that have broken 10K views, but I can't do it regularly yet because I don't understand what makes a video go viral. Even then, depending on who you talk to, 10K views is nothing. What truly makes a video go viral to them might be 500,000 views or 1 million views or 10 million views. It, again, really just depends who you talk to. Anyways, I want to learn what makes a thumbnail clickable. I want to learn what makes a good title, what makes a title and thumbnail go together well, how to make a good hook, how to edit better to keep people engaged, and how to write better also to keep people engaged. These are just a few examples right off the top of my head, but I hope that does show that while I do have a lot of experience in YouTube and also know a lot about it, there's also a lot of things that I don't know and still need to learn. It's also a matter of physically putting what I know into practice versus simply just knowing it, which ironically is another thing that I need to learn how to do, putting what I know into practice. Next, I'll give a little historical overview of YouTube as a platform. YouTube began in 2005 with 3 individuals wishing to share their content online easily. The website quickly gained traction, and in 2006, Google purchased it for $1.65 billion. Prominent YouTubers started popping up left and right, such as Nigahiga, Fred, and Smosh. Fred was the first channel ever to hit 1 million subscribers. Smosh was the first channel to ever hit 10 million subscribers, PewDiePie was the first channel to ever hit 50 million subscribers, and as of now, Mr. Beast holds the world record for most subscribers ever at 450 million. YouTube has also had many eras that have defined it. The early days were filled with memes and funny clips of all kinds. Then, in 2013, the platform began covering more mainstream topics like gaming, fashion, and art, where many prominent YouTubers started their careers or became popular. I know when I was a kid, I watched a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, car videos, and animations. Around 2016, IRL content, specifically vlogs and general entertainment, got super popular. I personally watched a lot of early Mr. Beast at this time, because watching young college-aged kids doing seemingly whatever they wanted while being entertaining and helping others really stuck with me. And I continued watching and being motivated by Mr. Beast for years to come. YouTube is noteworthy today because it didn't start out as a platform for professional content creation. Nowadays, YouTubers are creating their own movies or even starring in movies, but back then it was amateur hour. That's not to say the content was bad. For Gen Z kids like me, I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that a part of me misses older YouTube. It felt more personalized and cozy, if that makes sense. I bring all of that up to bring in a quote from this article. It states, "Notwithstanding the still existing type of non-professional content, this trend of professionalization points towards the significant turnovers and revenues that content providers such as so so-called social media stars earn through participation on YouTube's advertisement revenues, as well as through product placements, with the latter further emphasizing the commercial nature of the content supply. This quote addresses the transformation of YouTube, explicitly saying how the platform has moved beyond its origins, which is key to its current position in today's culture. The platform shapes culture through professionalized, commercialized content. Look at some of the creators with millions of subscribers: Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, and MKBHD. These guys have teams behind them, studios to work in, and millions of dollars made from the platform. These videos look professional because they are, and because of that, YouTube is giving traditional television a run for its money. Wendy Lee gives a simple quote in her article titled "YouTube Turns 20 Years Old, How It Changed TV as We Know It," which simply states, "I don't think it's just the future of TV. It is TV, and the world is catching on." YouTube went from a platform where the biggest creators were simply playing games to the biggest creators giving away $5 million on an Amazon Prime show that was greenlit because of his insane growth on YouTube. And they gave the creator full creative control of the show. Ian Shepherd actually dives deeper into this sentiment in his article, "The Future of Television is YouTube. Here's what that means for creators," where he discusses how the analytics support how YouTube is taking over not just social media, but television as well. As the first article I talked about pointed out, YouTube has evolved, and Shepherd states that the statistics here are fundamentally changing how we consume content. YouTube announced viewers are watching over 1 billion hours of YouTube content on TVs daily, and television has surpassed mobile as the primary device for YouTube viewing in the United States. As Nielsen confirms, YouTube has maintained its position as the #1 streaming platform for watch time in the US for 2 consecutive years. 1 billion is an enormous number and presents YouTube as a dominant force in entertainment. YouTube isn't just part of the future of entertainment, it's actively reinventing it. Actually, this is the sentiment that Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, had when he started creating videos, and it's still how he thinks to this day. I was pretty hooked on all things Mr. Beast back in middle and high school. I'd watch all of his videos, interviews, podcasts, news articles, etc. just to learn a new thing about how to make the best content possible. Obsession is what sets Jimmy apart from the bulk of other creators. All his other successful traits stem from an abnormal focus on a crystal clear objective, becoming the greatest YouTuber of all time. Listen to him speak and you cannot help but be reminded of the obsessiveness and intensity of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time. To be sure, Jimmy ranks among them. This is a quote from the article "What Entrepreneurs Can Learn from the World's Greatest YouTuber" by Ariel Renos and Alexandra DeWez. That's not to say everything is sunshine and rainbows though. Going back to what I said earlier about how I miss a part of older YouTube because it felt more personalized and cozy, Colin and Samir actually dove into this topic in their interview titled "The Death of Art on YouTube." These two creators interview some of the best and largest creators on the platform, and in this video, they interviewed Casey Neistat to discuss this very topic. The main part I want to point out is how Neistat stated that he feels like the priority, the focus, is shifted away from the creativity part of creator and shifted towards the economy part of creator, and it breaks his fucking heart and makes him so sad. Which, yeah, I can agree. I would say that even I have fallen into this trap, where I only cared about making videos as attention-grabbing as possible instead of creating an art form. While I still want videos to grab and keep a viewer's attention, I'm doing it in different ways. Things aren't happening every 5 seconds on the screen, I'm talking slower, and my favorite part of my new videos is the different camera angles and editing tricks that I use. Audience demand is one of the largest driving factors of YouTube. There have been many different eras and popular formats that have defined the platform at one point or another, such as storytime animation, drama, vlogs, gaming, etc. Another key factor that has changed the role is the introduction of live streaming and shorts. Both of these changed the game on what it means to be a YouTuber, and we can now see channels that focus more so on shorts or streaming rather than just regular videos. YouTube is also now easier than ever to create content for and get big. You can post videos, shorts, live streams, and text posts. Phones also have an excellent quality camera, so you no longer have to spend a couple $1,000s on a good camera for content. Case in point, all of the camera work for this video is being done on an iPhone 17 Pro Max. YouTube Studio, the all-in-one hub for managing your channel, offers tips and tricks on what you can do with your channel, and hundreds of creators have created content on how to grow on social media. While not all of these videos are good, I personally follow multiple creators on how to grow viral and make better content. I've also watched a multitude of videos where Mr. Beast goes over what he did to make his videos better and go viral. For example, in his interview with Colin and Samir, Jimmy discusses how he would constantly reinvest all of his money earned on YouTube back into his videos, starting from small tips to giving away large sums of money, and how this insane spending habit has been integral to his growth. For the last 8 to 9 years, every dollar I've made, I just spent on the next month on content, and I just did that every single month, and it just kept getting bigger, and here we are. There is so much out there to help someone get started on YouTube, especially now that the platform is older and people are more experienced on it. The demographic of people in the field is everyone. You can find any video made by any person because YouTube is not restricted by anything. Especially now in the age of AI, we have YouTubers growing their audiences because videos can be subtitled and dubbed in different languages, with or without AI. You can find gaming content, fashion, blogs, and more. There's endless information available on the site made by every demographic of person imaginable. You can learn from YouTubers sharing information online instead of taking an in-person class. That's actually how I'm learning about photography right now. Moving on to salary, the entry-level salary varies by channel. For example, 1,000 views can either equate to $1 or $30. It depends on audience engagement, ads, and watch time. It also depends on how much you upload. If you upload one video per month and it gets 5,000 views, you're looking at around $5 to $10 that month. But if you upload multiple times a month and the videos get a combined 1 million views, you're looking at around $1,000. Most of my monetized videos made around $1.50 to $2.50 per 1,000 views, and since that old channel has around 3 million views, I made around $3,000. It takes a lot for someone to do YouTube full time. Other factors that can be included in salary include sponsorships, merchandise, YouTube premium revenue, affiliate marketing, super thanks, and channel subscriptions. The education and skills required to do YouTube are literally nothing. However, if you want to be successful, that does take knowledge. Mr. Beast is a college dropout and a high school flunk, yet he's smart enough to get almost 500 million subscribers. Meanwhile, I'm studying film, media, and entertainment, and I haven't even broken 1,000 subscribers on my main channel. To be fair, I've only just started creating videos 6 months ago, but even then that's not a good excuse. For channels that want to be monetized and educational, let's say a channel about mental health, it would be important to have knowledge and maybe even a degree in psychology in order to create well-informed and accurate videos on the topic. People would notice that the host is well-informed, which would build credibility and attract subscribers. However, literally anyone can create a video on mental health. I mean, hell, I've done it before. And my only credibilities are my life experiences. So you don't need a specific degree or education, but you do need knowledge and skills to be successful. YouTube is self-employed work, so the environments differ. For me, and as you can see, I record in my room. For other people, they use their whole house. Other people will use entire studios. It all depends on the type of content that that person creates and what they're able to do. When I'm older, I'd like to have a home office to edit my videos in and use my entire house as the backdrop in my videos. Specifically the rooms in the house, not my actual house. I'm not doxing myself. The job locations are also entirely dependent on the creator. They can be anywhere in the world, or even in space. There are literally videos in space on YouTube. There is quite literally no limit to where your videos take place. Alright, and here's where I do my interview. I found a small creator with not even 500 subs, but his videos have performed pretty well for someone his size. Getting in contact with creators is pretty difficult unless you're just as, if not more popular than they are, so out of the dozens of messages I sent out, Infielder Seth is the only one who actually got back to me. I reached out via email and he got back to me with his answers, so I'm gonna be reading out both the questions and answers. I do apologize because it might sound a little bit awkward. But yeah, the first question I said, "Hello, nice to meet you. I'm thankful you took the time out of your day to have this interview. How are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing great. Thank you for having me." I asked, "How did you start out on YouTube?" And he replied, "I have made several attempts, but this most recent has been the one that I feel has not only stuck the most, but had some of the best writing and editing work compared to earlier attempts when I was younger." I then asked, "Why did you want to be a YouTuber?" He said, "Since I was young, I've watched many creatives take their talents to the website to express themselves in numerous ways. For me, I love listening to people discuss their thoughts and opinions on media they enjoy, especially video games. The Angry Video Game Nerd, Some Call Me Johnny, Chugga Conroy, and Clement J642 were only some of the numerous inspirations for my channel in terms of content, context, and style." I next asked, "What do you think the future of your channel and YouTube looks like in the next 5 years?" He replied with, "My goal is to be able to make passive income off of my audience through genuine connection with them. I comment on every interaction people leave on my videos, even if they are less than positive, in order to foster a kind environment. My current goal for the next year is to start a second channel for more casual content and release more videos on my main channel and get my workflow more optimized." Next, I asked, "What's been your most valuable experience through YouTube so far?" He replied with, "Learning how to ignore the noise, not taking a badly released video poorly. My first video sat below 1,000 views for months. My second video was something I didn't anticipate doing well, but it did better than I expected. You need to make content for yourself first and foremost, and the audience will come if it's good." Next I asked, "What do you now know that you wished you'd known when you were in my position?" He said, "Understanding your limits. So many people want to try and become the next Smosh, PewDiePie, or Mr. Beast without understanding they go to the level that they did through a lot of trial and error. Smosh especially is a fantastic study in how YouTube can affect the people behind the camera for the better and worse. If you push yourself too far and stretch yourself too thin, you risk burnout or making poor creative decisions out of desperation." I then asked, "What next steps would you recommend for someone in my situation?" He replied, "Be analytical. Be able to articulate yourself and others as to why the path you are taking for your channel is a good idea. For me, I am planning on starting a series covering the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy series that covers both as they evolve throughout the years for multiple reasons. 1, they are the grandfathers of the JRPG genre. 2, JRPGs are my favorite game genre. And 3, this will allow me to build an audience of fellow RPG enthusiasts that will come back for more videos on these similar topics." This is a simple way to explain it, and I have far more I could go into, but this is for the sake of brevity. I then asked, "What videos have you posted that changed the trajectory of your channel?" He replied, "A Link to the Past and A Link's Awakening were by far the ones that exploded at a level I didn't anticipate, but I attribute that to my Zelda 2 retrospective getting my foot in the door, so to speak. It only got 3K views after its first month, but when I put out my Link to the Past video, that video caught on due to the people who watched my Zelda 2 video coming back, and that push telling YouTube to push my channel a bit more. It was a snowball effect, and it's why I'm planning my future slate the way I am." I then simply said, "Thank you for your time, and do you have anyone you know that would be good to get in contact with in regards to YouTube?" He replied, "Thank you for having me. It means a lot you even thought of me for this." He then added, "Personally, I don't have a guaranteed recommendation of someone who would reach out. For me, I sent DMs to a lot of creators I watched over the years to get tips
tips and tricks to the gig, and I only ever got one response back from an Australian creator named Snugboy. He was a big help in getting this current channel started, and he even watched my first video to give feedback. It wasn't much, but it meant a lot to me and gave me the motivation to continue on. Again, sorry if that was implemented awkwardly in the video, but I felt this was the best way I could do it. So yeah, with all of that being said, I love YouTube as a platform, and creating this project hasn't really changed any of my feelings, for better or for worse. I did learn more about YouTube's history in some of the earlier years before I really started using it, but I didn't really learn anything new about myself or the job itself. I've been interested in doing this all of my life, and that hasn't changed. In fact, with the creation of my new gaming channel, it's reignited the spark to do this career. And in order to ensure that happens, I'm just gonna keep doing what I have been, learning what makes a good video and just keep trying until I eventually do it. I did it once before, I can do it again. Not every video of mine has to be perfect. At the end of the day, I do this because it's what I enjoy. Part of being a YouTuber is also being able to see that if a video doesn't perform as well as you'd like, you gotta learn from it and do better instead of sulking in your sorrows. So yeah, I can't wait to see where my channel goes, and I'm also really excited for the future of YouTube. That's all from me. Thanks for watching.